On November 20th, 1918, Frances Elizabeth Kent was born in Fort Dodge, Iowa. 5 years later, the Kent family moved to Hollywood, California, where Frances eventually attended Los Angeles Catholic Girls High School. Upon graduation, she entered the Order of the Immaculate Heart of Mary and took Sister Mary Corita as her religious name at age 18. She earned a BA at Immaculate Heart College and briefly worked as a primary school teacher in British Columbia before returning to Immaculate Heart as faculty in the art department. She completed her master's degree at University of Southern California, where she began the art of silkscreen printing. Her reputation as an artist and teacher grew rapidly throughout the 1950s and 60s, earning her a spot on the cover of Newsweek in 1967. Weary from teaching, exhibiting, and touring, she took a sabbatical to Cape Cod, Massachusetts in 1968. At the end of her sabbatical, she chose not to return to her order or to the teaching profession. She sought official dispensation from her vows as a sister and started a new secular life in Boston in 1970. Despite ongoing battles with cancer during the final decade of her life, Corita's bold prints landed her many notable commissions, including an anti-war billboard that read, "We can make life without war," and a love-themed U.S. postage stamp. She lost her battle to cancer in 1986 at the age of 67. Corita's legacy as an artist and art educator live on today. Her role as the art department chair at Immaculate Heart College elevated the small school to an art world hotspot. She hosted lectures from artists like Charles and Ray Ames, Alfred Hitchcock, and Saul Bass. She used photography as a means to capture and examine the world around her. She translated photos of advertisements, billboards, and other signage into powerful text designs about civil rights and social justice issues. She first became interested in silkscreen after seeing an Andy Warhol exhibit in 1962. She thought it would be a good medium for her students, many of whom were pre-service teachers, and she wanted to be able to mass-produce her art so it would be affordable for many. Her work was centered around her Catholic beliefs, yet it responded to the injustices and turmoil of the time period in a way that was not common for women, especially nuns. In 1997, the Immaculate Heart community started the Corita Art Center in her honor. Just last year, in the summer of 2021, the city of Los Angeles voted to save her small studio space from threats of demolition. Perhaps one of the most valuable memorabilia Corita left behind was her set of 10 rules for artists that hung in her classroom at Immaculate Heart College. Rule 1. Find a place you trust, then try trusting it for a while. Rule 2. General duties of a student. Pull everything out of your teacher. Pull everything out of your fellow students. Rule 3. General duties of a teacher. Pull everything out of your students. Rule 4. Consider everything an experiment. Rule 5. Be self-disciplined. This means finding someone wise or smart and choosing to follow them. Rule 6. Nothing is a mistake. There's no win and no fail. There's only make. Rule 7. The only rule is work. If you work, it will lead to something. It's the people who do all of the work all of the time who eventually catch on to things. Rule 8. Don't try to create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes. Rule 9. Be happy whenever you can manage it. Enjoy yourself. It's lighter than you think. Rule 10. We're breaking all the rules, even our own rules. And how do we do that? By leaving plenty of room for X quantities, from John Cage. These rules encourage artists and educators to pour everything into their work without being too overcritical. Corita knew that art had the power to make a difference in the world, and she shared this passion with her students. The community she fostered among the women in her studio should be the goal of any art teacher today.